Welcome to the Presidential Claim Record. This opening slide reflects a percentage-based breakdown of direct quotes from President Trump, reviewed from April 1st, 2026 through April 17th, 2026, classified across 4 categories: false, unsupported, misleading, and supported. It should be noted that additional qualifying direct quotes from President Trump's April 16th, 2026 CNN interview with Caitlin Collins were identified after publication of yesterday's review. They are not being used to revise the results previously published through April 16th, 2026. Instead, they are being reflected in today's April 17th assessment and in the cumulative totals moving forward. Now let's move to the scorecard. The left side of the scorecard reflects cumulative results from April 1st, 2026 through April 16th, 2026, broken down by category. Now, here are the results from April 17th, 2026. As for false, 3 claims were identified. At his April 16th, 2026 CNN interview with Caitlin Collins, President Trump stated, "The Pope made a statement. He says, Iran can have a nuclear weapon." This claim is false, as Pope Leo did not make that statement and has publicly opposed the spread of nuclear weapons. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "Zero illegal aliens coming into our country in the past 11 months. Zero." This claim is false, as official reporting described 11 straight months of zero releases into the United States, not zero illegal crossings into the country. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "We now produce more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined." This claim is false, as available production data did not support United States output exceeding the combined production of Russia and Saudi Arabia. As for unsupported, 10 claims were identified. At his April 16th, 2026 CNN interview with Caitlin Collins, President Trump stated, "Iran has killed more than 42,000 people over the last few months. Think of it. Protesters, without guns, without anything. They were totally unarmed protesters." This claim is unsupported, as no verified authoritative record available at the time of review established that specific number and characterization as stated. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "Most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to." This claim is unsupported, as no verifiable public record established that most points of the Iran arrangement had been negotiated and agreed to. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form." This claim is unsupported, as no verified deal terms confirm that condition at the time of review. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "Iran, with the help of the USA, has removed or is removing all of the sea mines." This claim is unsupported, as no authoritative confirmation verified that all sea mines had been removed or were being removed as stated. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "The flow of deadly fentanyl pouring across our border is down by an astounding 59%. This claim is unsupported, as the specific figure was not independently verified by an authoritative public data release available at the time of review. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "We removed over 300,000 bureaucrats from federal payrolls." This claim is unsupported, as no authoritative public record verified that total. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "The first releases will begin very, very soon." This claim is unsupported, as it referred to a future release of UFO-related files that had not occurred at the time of review. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "I received a call from NATO asking if we would like some help." This claim is unsupported, as no independent, authoritative source available at the time of review verified that such a call took place. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "Iran has just announced that the Strait of Hormuz is fully open and ready for business and full passage." This claim is unsupported, as no independent, authoritative confirmation available at the time of review verified that Iran officially made that announcement. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "The naval blockade will remain in full force in effect, as it pertains to Iran only." This claim is unsupported, as no independently verified official policy confirmation established that the blockade remained in effect as described. As for misleading, 10 claims were identified. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "Millions of Americans received the largest tax refunds of their lives." This claim is misleading, as while many taxpayers did receive refunds, the sweeping characterization that they were the largest of their lives is not supported by available IRS data. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "The average is more than $4,000 per filer." This claim is misleading, as available IRS data at the time showed the average refund was approximately $3,462 per filer, not more than $4,000. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "In 2025, we achieved the largest drop in violent crime ever recorded." This claim is misleading, as while significant declines were observed, the broader claim was not clearly established across all available national data. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "The murder rate reached the lowest level in over 125 years." This claim is misleading, as available crime data did show a significant decline, and in some cases multi-decade lows, but did not support the assertion that the rate reached a 125-year low. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "Illegal drugs coming in by ocean or sea are down by 97%. This claim is misleading, as seizure data does not establish total flow reduction and should not be interpreted as such. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "We cut it by 59% this year, our trade gap. It's the largest drop in history." This claim is misleading, as it relied on selective presentation without the broader historical context needed to support that sweeping conclusion. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "In 11 months, we did $18 trillion of new investments coming, and that is a record for any country anywhere in the world by a lot." This claim is misleading, as it relied on pledged or projected commitments rather than verified completed investment. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "To begin with, I ended 8 wars." This claim is misleading, as while President Trump played a role in diplomatic efforts and ceasefires in several conflicts, available evidence did not substantiate the specific claim that he ended 8 wars as stated. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "If we add Iran and Lebanon, that will be 10 wars ended." This claim is misleading, as it built on an already inflated baseline and included conflicts that were either ongoing, not clearly defined as wars, or not fully resolved at the time of the statement. At the turning point speech, President Trump stated, "Yesterday, we achieved an unprecedented ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, and that has not taken place in 78 years. This claim is misleading, as while a ceasefire was reported, the assertion that such an event had not taken place in 78 years is not supported by the historical record. As for supported, 4 claims were identified. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "Yesterday, we achieved an unprecedented ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon." This claim is supported in substance by contemporaneous reporting of a United States brokered ceasefire announced the day prior. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "As part of our tax cuts, we delivered no tax on tips." This claim is supported in substance by Treasury and White House materials describing that tax provision. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "No tax on overtime." This claim is supported in substance by Treasury and White House materials describing that tax provision. At the Turning Point speech, President Trump stated, "We gave you the right to deduct your interest payments on a car loan, but only if it is made in the USA." This claim is supported in substance by Treasury and White House materials describing that deduction. This brings today's totals to 3 false 10, unsupported 10, misleading, and 4 supported claims. The cumulative totals from April 1st, 2026 through April 17th, 2026 have been updated accordingly and are reflected on the scorecard. Those cumulative totals are 20 false, 49 unsupported, 26 misleading, and 24 supported. This record is compiled using direct quotes from President Trump sourced from Truth Social, other major social media platforms, press conferences, interviews, official White House releases, transcripts, and other public statements. It excludes intermediaries, representatives, news outlet personalities, and second-hand interpretations. The words matter. The truth matters. The history matters.